kitted player at first.
Yay!
Yep, we're back. We're back. Sorry, guys. I'm not really sure why. Like a couple things crashed on my PC, and seeing the firepower of my PC. No, actually, those windows kept going. I'm not sure what happened here. It was a little bit strange. And by the way, talk about redundant things. Like we have everything except like redundant internet connections coming in here. But technically, there's a if we lose our internet connection, we automatically flip over to a 5G connection. So it's kind of funny. We have redundant power. We have redundant battery. Actually, one of the things we're doing at the old homestead here is every one of our rooms are wired for internet, right? So I'm going through, we have a wall downstairs. Everything's wired to a DMARC. We're going to pull up that DMARC and put a patch panel in, and punch it down. I've ordered all this stuff. It's all here, right? And I'm going to teach the boys how to do some of that stuff and what it all means. And we're going to put a mesh network in and do all that stuff. So it'll be fun. I'm not sure the boys are as jazzed about it as I am, but I'm like, we got a whole wall in the basement, right? In one of the closet areas, there's like a walk-in area under the steps. And I'm like, okay, here's where our power comes in. I've already got the PowerPoint where everything's laid out on it. And then how we're going to anal retentively or OCD wise, however you want to say it, put in how we're going to put all the wires on the wall, right? Not crossing electric over network and all that stuff. So we decided the backhaul for the mesh is going to be Ethernet. So we have the option of Wi-Fi 6E or a couple 5 networks and a 2.4. And I said we're just going to wire it. See how it works.
Eric's going to have the kids crimping cables for about 3 hours straight. And they are going to love it.
I don't think there's any cables we need to crimp. I think we're okay. We just have to punch down, the rooms. I think we have somewhere around 10 or 12 network connections to punch down into the patch panel, but that's all. And then, I'm in my office. So, I have a second little 2x2 desk next to me there, and under that 2x2 desk is a jumble of cables, wireless router, cable modem, everything's under there, right? And I'm like, that needs to go. We need to mount it all to the wall under the steps and be organized, and then we open up and we don't have so many wires crisscrossing the floor and everything in the office. So we're going to get a little more organized here. Nothing beats Ethernet, yeah. Our wireless is really good here. My 2.4 extends, just beyond the boundaries of my house, the furthest side over there away. My generator is hooked up to the Wi-Fi, and it's over there. So, we get coverage on the 2.4 pretty good, but I want to get better.
So I'm unsure quite at this point in time, but it's possible that I might have spent almost a year and like 5 months with a 144 hertz monitor stuck at 60 hertz.
Oh, how'd that happen?
Congratulations!
I was just like, I was screwing around with like contrast and vibrance and all that kind of stuff, right? And like going through essentially my like my monitor's sort of on-screen menu kind of thing, and playing about with like all the various different things. And I get to sort of like the game mode, and I'm like, oh, there's a fucking game mode? Like, what the hell? Like, and then I start going through like the options there, and it's like throwing all of what I was just doing like completely out of whack. And then there's like a frame counter thing. I'm like, oh, that would be quite useful to see the frame counter sort of.
You're making me look at mine right now too. Okay.
Yeah. And so I go to the frame counter, I switch it on, and it's just stuck at 60. And I'm like, wait, what?
Well,
like, I
because
bought
the
this
display runs at 60.
Yeah, and I'm there going like, hang on, what the fuck? Like, and so I'm looking to see like, wait, where is my unlock for 144? Because I bought it. Like, my previous one was a 60 hertz monitor. I bought this for 144 hertz, like, for a reason, for gaming. So I'm like, well, I mean, that explains some stuff, I think, to some degree, looking back. But then I literally drill down and I find the option to sort of like switch it to 144 hertz. I'm like, finally. Oh, of all things. Fucking Christ.
Hey,
Yeah,
mine has a
guys,
blue light filter from 0 to 4.
Make sure that when you are buying your 144 hertz monitor, that you are genuinely and properly unlocking the 144 hertz.
I actually had to turn down the refresh rate on my monitor.
See, I have theater mode.
Well, your
scenery
monitor's
mode.
something else.
So there's a bug in Windows right now. If you have a monitor with more than 144 hertz, so like 180 or 240 hertz, and you have a second screen that has 60 hertz or less, it will crash the driver, and you will.
Oof.
By the way, I just put my monitor in.
Weird artifacts.
I just put my monitor in game mode, and it looks fabulous. Like my one in front of me. I'm sitting there going. I mean, what the hell did I have it in? What has McLeod found for us all today?
I've been somewhat free falling in Tarkov, to be honest, at this point in time. So, and the thing that I always like have issue with, which Soth is always so super smug about, is the fact that like he can do
It's so
upgrades
dark.
and it's super dark, and like the contrast and ratios and that kind of thing, like unless you're buying a monitor that's really good at being able to to showcase all of the sort of like the tiny kind of discrepancies in the hues and shades and all that kind of stuff, and really make them kind of pop comparatively. You're gonna have a bit of a bad time unless you literally turn all your lights off and really play about with your like monitors and your monitor and your sort of like screen sort of brightness and contrast and stuff, right? So I'm kind of screwing around with this because I'm sort of thinking about like streaming some Tarkov, but like I can't really do it with all the lights off, like, because then you have to kind of have a bit of a sort of presence as well on the stream. So I'm trying to find this kind of like this weird kind of midpoint of having lights on and being able to see, like which in itself, out of context, sounds like an absurdly dumb kind of absurdly dumb sentence to say out loud. I'm trying to find this midpoint of actually having lights on and being able to see. Like,
yeah, but the thing is, when you're streaming, you kind of want the viewers to be able to see things as well. And if you add compression to it, it's even worse, right? That's one of the reasons why you see most streamers in Tarkov running during daytime.
Yeah. Like compression. Twitch compression as well. Like especially being limited to 6K. Like it is a bit much. It is a bit kind of it does suck. But then again, I do have a dedicated streamer PC that I can run with X264. Actually, I can run it on X264 slow. Not even medium, but slow. So that's good.
Would be nice if we had AV1 encoding.
Well, it would be, yeah. Twitch, come on! You said that you were working on it, but they said that they were working on it, and they've been working on it for like years.
Oh, Handbrake is supporting it now, so that's nice.
I know that YouTube supports it.
Does it now?
Mm-hmm. YouTube supports for
YouTube has handbrakes? That just seems weird.
You know what? I hate when you squeeze the front handbrake first and really hard.
And then the video just stops. Yeah, that's so fucked up.
I thought you meant going over the handlebars.
Metaphorically.
That's just me.
I have to figure out where we're going to dinner tonight, by the way. It's 2:27 my time.
What are your options?
Well, most of the options, here's where...
Honey, it sounds like McDonald's again.
It's an official restaurant. It says it on the
I guarantee
thing, okay?
if I call upstairs and get my daughter down here and say, where do you want to go to dinner? She'll look at me and she'll go, Chick-fil-A. That's like, Chick-fil-A. It's like all she wants to eat. When they had a dance, a 7th and 8th grade dance at the middle school, kids arranged it, kids set it up, they had money to spend, they decided what they did, right?
I'll be back. I'm getting a phone call. So
okay, and what did they have at a school dance, right? Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
They had Chick-fil-A. She was mad. She was too busy doing something. She didn't get her Chick-fil-A. Somebody ate it, right? They just dropped down a bunch of Chick-fil-A and all the kids eat it. It's all they eat, right? And I'm sitting there going, it's a school dance. Like, you have a water fountain and a DJ. I mean, that's all we had, right? I don't know. But that's what she'll say. My wife would have preferred somewhere that we have to make reservations, but neither one of us are organized enough to make reservations on Monday for the weekend. We're just bad at it. We don't do it well, right? So then we can either stand in line or we can order something out. So I don't know. I'm just, I was told when she left to go hang out with her mother to work with the kids to figure that out. But I'm sitting here going, I got a show to do. I don't have time to figure out what the hell we're doing for dinner, right? I picked Permanis last night. I'm good. She doesn't cook on Friday night or Saturday night. She will cook everybody dinner any other night. Now, cook is air quotes, right? Because she's got 3 kids and she's been a mom for a long time now. Cooking is, going out to Costco or, the deli down the thing and getting something pre-made that she just has to make warm, right? That's it.
What?
She's not
Come
here.
on.
I'm getting away with that.
I cook every day.
Yeah, well, she might throw some steaks in there, right? Or something. That's about it. Pre-made salad.
Not everybody has the time or has the sort of
you don't understand. I'm like
the scheduling capacity to be able to be cooking every day.
Yeah, it's not like I also have a full-time job, right?
She has a full-time job and 3 children.
That's why I said scheduling capability or capacity. Sorry, but yeah.
However,
you have good skills in that regard. Some people don't.
Uh-huh.
Hey, by the way, everybody knows, Mrs. Erik is fantastic. She is awesome. You guys think I'm making fun of her, but I'm not really.
Erik, that's a really easy trick. Get your kids into cooking. I mean, that's the trick my mom pulled, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one kind of ends up
so
kind of biting you at some point. If you kind of got into cooking as a kid, it ends up biting you when oh right, it's Christmas or whatever, and you're the one that ends up doing all the cooking.
Okay, so you say that, but number 1 just got his driver's license a few weeks before he turned 22. Number 2, at the exact same time, got his driver's license. He's 19. I lost $100 because I had bet that number 3, who's 12, about to be 13 in a couple weeks, I bet that she would get her license before 1 and 2. So, I'm out $100, and I'm kind of pissed about it. But
I mean, they were kind of late about it.
A little, and years. And so they just have their licenses now, so they're just starting to drive and do things for us. So that's kind of nice. But mom trucks everybody everywhere. So she works hard. But yeah, I have to find some place for dinner tonight. So, wish me luck after the show. I will be scrambling to figure out.
Pick the local steakhouse and call it good.
I want pizza, large pepperoni, extra cheese, baby. I'm good.
when you're saying pizza, do you mean like New York style, deep dish, Italian? Like what
Sicilian. That's another one. Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
I you know what, that you may have just made my mind up for me, Saw. There's just one of these, and when I go to Columbus, I love this pizza. It's a Detroit pizza. It's called
Detroit is the ones they make in a pan, right?
Yeah, and it's square, right? Well, rectangular, actually, not square. If I mention Jets, which by the way is a 30-minute drive each way, 60 minutes round trip. Okay, for us here. If I say Jets, everybody will go for it. So, but yeah, we have a little. I mean, where I live, everybody knows I live in Pittsburgh, right? Where I live, there's just a tremendous number of pizza shops per capita here. Okay, and you can get any you want. Detroit, you can get New York, you can get Sicilian. You know, I mean, it's all here. You can get sweet sauce. You can get zesty sauce. You know, you got your choices. It's whatever you want. And generally, there are some chains like Jets and Pizza Hut and, you know, Domino's and, you know, all those. But you just have a tremendous amount of mom and pop shops, which in my mind make the best pizza. You know, you get a chain traditionally, you know, it's just on the rack and it just goes through the heat. Right, and does, but the mom and pop shops around here, they use the brick ovens, which just is awesome. Brick ovens.
I mean, that is
you get coal-fired pizza.
Kind of like the rule, though, when it comes to like any sort of restaurant, right? The bespoke kind of sure you're calling them mom and pop or whatever, but like the actual local restaurants that do, you know, that try and do authentic food are generally always like head and shoulders above the chains. You know what you're getting at a chain. You know, you go you go traveling somewhere else in the country, and you know you go to Domino's or whatever. You know that you're going to get the same sort of thing there as you would get when you're at home. But like if you actually know the area and you know where the kind of bespoke is the wrong word, but that kind of independent restaurant, always better. Always.
I don't know if you guys have these in Europe, right? But we also have restaurants that wood and coal-fired pizza ovens, and of course they're brick ovens too. But in the corner, they've got actual wood burning or coal burning, and they just slide the pizzas in next to them, and that's what. And they have to keep turning them, obviously, because the heat's up from kind of one angle. But we have those too.
Yeah, we get.
I'm not a big fan of them. I'm not a big fan.
Generally, they don't use coal inside, but like charcoal or wood is pretty common for that sort of thing. We definitely have those kind of restaurants around.
While you say that, the most unusual pizza that I've heard being cooked here was at our company, and most people might not know this. I work in printing. Do
you have the mimeograph stuff still, the old Ditto stuff, and do you smell it like?
No.
Okay.
We have so we do rotational printing. That means you have a continuous run of paper.
Okay, yeah.
That goes through the printing machine, and because, well, the color is wet, you have to dry it out, right? So it goes through an oven, and it's doing that at ridiculous speeds. So that oven is kind of hot. So of course, some printer was like, "Hey, I wonder if I could cook a pizza in that oven." Yes, you can.
How fast do you cook the pizza in that oven?
Very.
I mean, that's one way to deal with your late night snack when you're on the night shift or whatever.
Yeah.
There you go.
You also have to clean a shit ton of stuff.
I was going to say, otherwise, whoever gets the book might end up with some greasy finger marks on it or ketchup marks or whatever before they've even done it themselves.
Yeah, but you got to keep in mind it's a continuous run of paper that's like super thin, and it's going at ridiculous speeds. If you put any weight on that, it tears immediately.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me of the movies when you used to see the daily paper, right? Was all running on printing presses like that. It was kind of crazy. I just got informed today that I'm no longer getting the paper version of the Wall Street Journal because they don't have a delivery person around here. So I only have the electronic version now. I'm very sad.
Fun fact, Eric. It is not the same kind of machine. It is exactly that machine.
Wow.
Because our company, like, I don't know, 70, 80 years ago, was like, hey, the way we print books is kind of dumb because we print like each page and then put the pages together, right?
Mm-hmm.
How it used to be. Why don't we do it like they do it with newspapers, and just do the folding, like do more folding than they do for the newspaper, and boom, you got modern books.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's amazing. That's better than a scribe in the corner with a quill and,
A bit, yeah.
A lot of quills. That's wild. That is just neat. Let's cook some pizzas in the paper oven.
Yep.
Let's see. What's our time? We have 20 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. What else do we want to talk about today? Anything you guys want to talk about out in the chat area? Direct us how we're doing.
Yeah, what do you want random opinions on, chat?
By the way, solar update is for today, since midnight, we have produced 63% of our consumed electricity. Looks like we just might almost get to 100% today. And 7% of it we sold back to the... So really, when you look at that
you've done 70-odd%.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. What was the percentage that you've done?
By the way, it's cloudy. 63% we've produced and consumed from solar. 7% we have sold back to the electric company, which is just a 1-to-1 to me, right? So that really means, even though it covers my nighttime use, right? So yeah, on a cloudy day, by the way, it's cloudy here. It's not a sunny day.
Yeah. So yeah, you've basically done 70%, and that's not too far in a day, I guess, for you.
Yeah.
What is it? Mid-afternoon?
Yeah, mid-afternoon. So, and by the way, Mr. Embry out there wants a detailed explanation as to why and how fire is falling apart. Does anybody know?
Do you want the serious answer on the piss take?
I'm happy with the childish answer because that's more in line with what we do here.
Fire are bad, and we're just going that way anyway.
Yeah.
The serious answer is I don't know. I mean, beyond they've been evicted from their space, I guess this is just the classic a coalition that can't hold together after being evicted, right?
Could be. I mean, it's hard. Eve's hard. When you lose Eve's... People don't understand that about Eve. When you lose something, it's hard to keep that morale and regroup and move everywhere. Okay?
And now imagine you do that like every 15 to 20 minutes and you have Tarkov.
But when you look at and look at what's happened to Goonswarm, right, over the last couple of years, right? We were up north, lots of battle. They created a new way of war in Eve, and there was no way to defend the territory that we have. And we kind of, evac'd everything. that we could, and stayed in one system for a couple months. Sure, some organizations left the CFC and all that at the time, but then we had the mass migration of people down to Delve, taking over Delve, the big fight in Delve, shrinking down to just a few systems in Delve, and then taking it back over. When you think about this in terms of some of the smaller coalitions or smaller organizations, they've just utterly collapsed, right? And then you look at what Goons have done and how they have managed that from a morale standpoint, right? It's truly amazing to me. I mean, look at it in terms of the human condition, right? And what people think and what people do. I mean, we were here on this show through the whole last 18-month war, right? And we were like, yeah, herf and blurf all you want. We don't really care. We're going to party on, a Saturday night swarm, and we're going to, people are going to write little parody songs and we're going to showcase them here and we're going to have a blast. And yeah, we really don't care. And everybody says, oh, you do care. You're just faking it, right? You're just doing whatever you do to keep your morale up. I'm like, no, you don't understand that it's kind of how the community is here. Right. And then you have Fire, right, which is having challenges, right? And everybody else. Well, Bad Juice says they haven't fallen apart. They just ref 4 Fortizars with 2 fleets, right? So everybody thinks Fire's fallen apart, and Bad Juice 69 here is sitting here saying, not really the case, guys. And whether it's the case or it isn't, right? It's that morale in those groups, and if Fire can keep that morale up and do their thing, more power to them. That's what Eve's about, right? By the way, so we're not here. I don't really hate Fire or like Fire. I really don't have, opinion one way or the other. I don't know what you guys think. I usually try not to talk because people don't think I'm smart. Smart people are the other folks on this show, folks, and they're not saying anything. So
I think there's 2 issues that plague Fire that people have been really aggravated about, like when it comes to Fire. It's like their leadership, like the fact that their leadership are very sort of, very boisterous, but also very, very nearsighted. They really don't think what they're what they what they say and what the the effects of what they've said are like what basically what's going to happen with what they say and how it translates to their place in sort of like nullsec, as it were. And the other kind of side of it is their almost what seems to be almost their kind of like their policy of just giving space to anybody who wants to be in it, and not really caring about like whether they are actually maybe potentially botting, because it seems like there's a lot of people are aggravated by the fact that they have a lot of botters in their ranks. Yeah, and so if they need to kind of like, if I was to be like, say, giving them pointers as to what to do to improve themselves, it would be purge their ranks of botters or potential botters. Like, you don't have to go like all out on them, but just make Fire a an uncomfortable place for them to be in, right? Would be it just basically make it harder for them to be in it, harder for them to sort of like go about using botting programs and stuff like that. Just basically make them
You mean do the bare minimum?
if just the bare minimum, like just so that botters, when they look at what what group to be in nullsec, they look to Fire and go, no, there must be an easier place to be in. Like, that's all they need to do. They just need to raise their bar in terms of like like clearing out botters, like be like above and beyond some other group that allows or allows people to rent. The other kind of thing is obviously, and this is a much more difficult thing because finding people to lead in Eve is kind of difficult to do so anyway. But their leadership just needs to be more humble and more willing to accept the fact that they make mistakes and that they should learn from mistakes. Because I don't think anybody expects a leadership team or a group of leaders who are new to leading to be perfect straight away all the time every time, but they should at least be willing to learn and at least be humble enough to be able to take a loss and to to realize I need to learn from this, or take lessons learned away from from strategic decisions that they've made in error. That's how I kind of see it anyway. Because, good God, as Constantine really needs to learn when to shut the fuck up.
I mean, that's half their problem.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Half of the problems are down to the fact that Constantine didn't know when to shut the fuck up. And if he did learn to shut the fuck up, they probably wouldn't be in anywhere near the amount of shit that they're in.
For sure.
But he just, and that's what I'm talking about. Leadership wise, they need to learn when to be humble about the things that they did badly, and be fucking honest and frank about it to their group, and just be like, I'm going to strive to do better. That's all it needs. But some people are just a little bit, they're a little bit too fucking proud. That's I don't know. That's my 2 cents about it. I don't know what you guys think.
I don't think I have an opinion on that crowd.
Well, thankfully, I don't have any kind of official capacity in any way, shape, or form in any organization in the game. So I can be as opinionated as I want, I guess. Whereas some other people here, maybe not so much, but I don't know. Yeah.
What? Which one of us do you think actually logs in these days? Well, Bob does.
There you go.
Shut up.
Bard, clearly.
I am
looked
saying
in the other week.
Hmm?
I looked in the other week.
Yeah, I also
there you
logged
go.
in the other week. I had to fix
Yeah.
some in-game channels.
Yeah,
I
had
am
some
logging
call
in
management stuff to
slightly
do.
more than that, Dirk, though. Fucking blame Dawn.
Well, she's not here, so it's a perfect opportunity
No,
to do so.
There
no.
we go.
She also just told me that I can't even remember the words. Hold on. She'll gut me.
The only the only Canadians that I'm not thrilled about are the ones from Canada.
Media. What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Glad,
Eric,
just
I've just got to ask you, Eric. What happened the last time the US got in a war with the UK and Canadians? I believe the White House burned down. The White House burned down. be fair, it looks better now than it did before.
Yep.
Wait, hold on. What is that? I'm missing some context here. Is that?
Massive phallic.
I thought that was honestly older than
Structure.
it is then.
Oh.
I'm muted. They didn't hear that.
Been
We're
missing
talking about.
yeah,
We're not going to
phallic
do that.
structures.
He was talking about Dick.
I was talking about the Washington Monument in Washington D.C. and after they burnt the White House, they also built that, and many people often refer to that as also a monument to Bill Clinton being a giant penis pointing toward the sky.
Fuck's sakes!
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying.
I would like it noted that, like,
true.
Eric, I think Eric is the only person here who actually uses a push to talk key on push to talk.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Well, how do you keep on muting yourself? I don't know.
Like, so I clicked on something, and I'm trying to recreate it, but I can't figure out why I get muted occasionally.
It's
like I'm trying to do things to mute myself, like clicking on other windows, and
so I've experienced
no one knows why.
Before.
It's random.
I've experienced it before, where, like, if you have a push to talk button, right, for for talking or unmuting your microphone, at least initially, at least intermittently for the stream as such, right? That if you click on a different window and you're still thinking that, like, you can use that particular button as a push to talk to unmute your mic, that because you've moved focus, you've shifted the focus away to a different program, that doesn't work, right? So that's why I think
I don't know why.
If not all streamers, like, they don't run like actual like push to talks for their actual stream. Maybe they'll use like a push to talk for for Discord or whatever like that. But, like, typically they have their microphone completely free and open. So I really don't understand how you keep on muting yourself.
I don't know either.
So
it's like
for me.
There's a ghost in the machine. We're gonna play a little
like, you don't have toggle mute on, do you? Like,
no,
you don't have a toggle mute thing or anything like that. Like,
no, in fact, normally I thought it was, hey, if I clicked over and read something in Discord, right? So I just clicked on Discord, right? And I thought maybe, I clicked to another Google window, and I just did that, and I'm still not muted, right? And then I click back to, because I do watch our stream while it's going on. I just click to that, and I'm like, what the hell, right? And I'm like, I just clicked over to the solar monitoring thing. Nothing. I clicked over to my new checking account, which yields 4% interest. I love it. I'm so excited. Not checking, but savings account. I'm like clicking around, like, what the hell auto mutes me? I haven't figured it out yet. Thought I knew. And by the way, guys, thanks for all the new follows. But I don't know. I really like, I'm pushing different buttons on my mouse, right? That I push. Nothing is happening, right? But yeah, we were talking about Washington D.C., the White House. By the way, I have it's really hard to do now, I think, but to get in the elevator and go to the top of the Washington Monument is pretty challenging to do now. I was privileged. We had a great history teacher when I was in 7th and 8th grade. And in 7th grade, he had a trip where, he took like a couple hundred 7th graders with chaperones, obviously, to freaking Washington, D.C., right? And we got to see all the cool stuff. We got to go in the White House, top of the, Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, all the Smithsonian, everything. And it was just fabulous. Like, now to get to the top and wait to get to the top of the Washington Monument or get in the White House is just a pain in the ass. But so I feel very lucky to have been in those. And the Washington Monument is actually, I think it's 3 colors, right? Because they couldn't get enough stone from one quarry. They'd get it from 3 quarries and kind of try and match it as it goes up. So pretty cool. But yeah, it is often called the Bill Clinton Memorial, right? So a large phallus that you can see, by the way, from the Capitol and the White House, right? Can't miss it. So,
Yeah, it's quite,
but Brisk, he gets to go there all the time. That's like his freaking backyard, right? He's just, he's hanging out. He's hanging out by the reflecting pool. He's probably like, meeting top secret people, exchanging things with the FBI and the CIA, like, sitting on a bench. Who knows what goes
as
on
we
over there.
as like the talking to people in those particular kind of like beigeish coats.
That's
So
right.
like quintessentially sort of like, oh, you're a spook, aren't you? Like how do I know you're a spook? Because you've purchased one of those coats. That's why.
Just a couple
Or
Virginia
you
farm
you-
boys. They're
yeah,
just Virginia
yeah.
farm boys. That's all they are.
Yeah.
By the way, I keep clicking around trying to mute myself. It's not freaking working. So I don't know. You just don't know.
Very confusing.
But hey, we're close to that. We're close to that one last thing time because we have 2 minutes left.
Oh, shit,
By the way,
yeah.
as far as we know, there is a meta show here at 4:00 U.S. Eastern, which is in about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So don't miss it. Brisk will be there. You can pepper him with all your Virginia Farm Boy comments that you want. But
Mark
by the way,
will
those
be
are
there as well.
those are
What's that? What's going on?
I said Mark will be there as well.
Oh, Mr. Resurrectus himself, yes.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So let's go around the horn here. We'll start at the top. Bargos, you still here? You live? Anybody
Yeah,
need
yeah.
CPR on you or anything? You're good.
No, I don't really have much to say. Especially not on Eve. Like,
Okay, got nothing. No one last
I'm
thing.
I'm not playing enough really. So
No one last thing.
I've been mining high-sec moons. It's as bad as it sounds.
Yeah. No fucking comment aside from called it.
This is a family show,
You
Mac.
called it.
Family show. Get
Early,
peanut butter and
called
jelly.
early on the show, I was like, well, East Harrier as a region has to be good in some way, shape, or form. Like it's all relative, right? So maybe ESO is better than some random kind of place in high sec. Although it sounds as though, although from what I last recall, high sec was actually pretty good in terms of money making because CCP. And here you're saying, yeah, I'm just,
reasonable.
and now you're here just basically saying, yeah, you're mining moons in high sec.
Yeah.
it's fine.
Except Dawn's now convinced me to stop that and go somewhere else to mine there.
Maybe ESO.
No. No.
Would you consider ESO for your next industrial opportunity?
No.
Why not?
Because it has no value to me.
There you go.
No value.
Why does it have no value to you?
Because it's not Provi, Immensi, or Delve, the only places I know and can remember my way around.
Ah, okay. So it's lay of the land situations, is it?
Anyway, I think Dirk's turn.
Dirk's up, baby.
Dirk's been rather quiet.
Been
Really, not really that opinionated, which is very strange for you.
He's not been monologuing at all.
I know.
Like he must be sick.
For God's sake, we have you on the show for one singular purpose. Where's the
That's my
fucking
only
monologues?
my only contribution. I guess you've been shortchanged this week. I don't know. It's just been a long week, and I'm just I've been enjoying chilling, listening to you guys chat about all sorts really. And yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Ghost Recon while you guys have
There you go.
been chatting. So yeah, I'm just kind of tired after a long week. That's all.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, you got another day. So, all right, Soth.
Yeah.
Look at him.
I guess the only thing I have is that I've been playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider because apparently I haven't played that yet.
You need to finish the previous one.
I did finish the previous two, yeah,
No, previous two,
and
sorry.
now I'm playing the third.
A good conclusion to the trilogy, to be fair.
So far I'm feeling like the second game, Rise of the Tomb Raider, was better.
I mean, that's probably fair, but it certainly does the trilogy kind of justice and like finishes it up kind of nicely. So yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. So
I can't say about finishing it up because, well, I haven't finished it yet.
There you go. All right, Mac. By the way, it's Faco.
Yeah.
All right. We don't talk about participation metrics and internal Goon reports. Thank you. Okay, Mac, you're up.
I think, don't quote me on this, but I think maybe we're getting quite close to a Starship launch. Maybe this week, but don't hold me on that one. But if so, then that's going to be fucking awesome.
What Starship? The Enterprise?
SpaceX Starship and Super Heavy booster launch.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. So fingers crossed on that one, but you never know. These things are on a most ridiculously randomized timeline. It might be, it might be this week, it might be 2 weeks time. You never fucking know. But yeah, apparently it's very close. Like they're doing final prep. They did a full wet dress rehearsal that seemed to have gone completely fine. The week just gone. So I think that was on like Wednesday or Thursday. And yeah, so if you know anything about like preparations for launch, like wet dress rehearsal is something that SLS did a few times before they finally were able to go through the full wet dress rehearsal before launching, SLS. So technically speaking, if they're kind of going through the same, processes as such, Starship and Super Heavy Booster went through the wet dress rehearsal, only a day or two ago. And so next kind of thing is the full launch. So it'll literally be the most powerful rocket that has ever been created by mankind launching. So it'll be an interesting scenario. Whether it will blow up or not, I don't know. We'll see.
All right. So my one last thing, gonna be a little break from the normal. After the show, I'm gonna spend 50 minutes, 44 seconds of my life. Whether I will rue the day or enjoy the 15 minutes or not will be yet seen. But I will share with you what I'm gonna do. I am going to watch the YouTube video "Keeping a Grocery Store Lobster as a Pet" because that popped up on my phone and I can't not watch it. So I'm going to see what it takes.
Interesting title.
Sounds interesting. We'll see what they do and how it works. If you want to look it up, that'll be we can discuss next week. That's my one last thing.
There was a cool insane engineering of the F-35B that like literally happened a day ago. That popped up on my YouTube like recommended stuff, which is really fucking cool. Like, yeah,
we're gonna look at it.
Check that one.
The other thing is, 50 years later, it was just declassified. I think a couple weeks ago, the guy could finally tell his wife. Like, I don't think he didn't tell his wife, right? Bullshit. Okay. But apparently there was a dude during, I think it was the Vietnam War. I'm pretty sure it was the Vietnam War, who pretty much had a Top Gun moment where he shot down a whole bunch of MiGs and they classified it and didn't say anything about it because they didn't want to increase tensions between Russia and the United States during the Vietnam War. But apparently there are a bunch of MiGs coming down on a carrier group, and there were 4 planes up, and 2 had to go back because for some reason they were shot up or whatever, and it was 2 against like 6 or 7 or something. I forget the exact numbers. And this dude shot down like a whole bunch of MiGs, and he came home with his rudder not working and 236 holes in his plane from the MiGs. And and 50 years later, he was now allowed to tell everybody about it.
So like, I can't tell you what happened, as like, this definitely happened. But like, damn, do I have a film script for you?
Yeah, I know. Anyway, somebody's saying there's fireside now. So, hey, we are late. We are out of here. Watch the Meta Show in an hour. Thank you, everybody, for joining this week. Appreciate your time. And we will see you all next week. Later, folks.
Cheerio.